These disturbing histories of the most haunted bridges in America will make you never want to walk, drive, or even fly over them. The Screaming Bridge of Ohio. They say if you drive across this bridge at night and turn off your engine, you'll hear a woman's scream cut through the silence. Not just any scream, but a kind of blood-curdling cry of someone in their final moments. Welcome to the Screaming Bridge of Maud Hughes Road of Liberty Township in Ohio, which is one of the darkest and most unsettling spots in the entire state. The exact origin of the name is debated, but locals argue on one thing. Tragedy has claimed this bridge again and again and again. The earliest stories date back over a century when a young woman was either struck by a train or leapt to her passing after being abandoned by a lover. Her final scream, they say, left an imprint so strong that it echoes across the bridge even today. But that was just the beginning. In the 1960s, a group of teenagers passed away in a very horrific car accident on the bridge. They were out late at night laughing and blasting music when suddenly their vehicle swerved and smashed into the railing. Some believe it was reckless driving, others insist the driver swore he saw a figure appear in front of the car right before the crash. Since then, countless witnesses claim to have seen shadowy shapes darting across the road at the exact spot of the collision. Drivers who stop on the bridge say they've also experienced some of the most terrifying paranormal activity imaginable. Handprints appearing on their car windows, loud pounding on the roof, and in some cases their engines refusing to start until the haunting noises stop. People walking across the bridge have described sudden bursts of icy wind, phantom footsteps following them, and even voices whispering their names. Police have had to patrol the bridge at night to stop teenagers from daring each other to spend the night there, but officers themselves admit there's something wrong about the place. One officer, who never gave his name publicly, told a local paper that he once pulled over to check out a stalled car on the bridge. When he walked towards the vehicle, he heard a scream so sharp and close that he spun around expecting to see a woman standing behind him. There was no one there. With its long record of passings, tragic love, and ghostly screams that refuse to fade, the Screaming Bridge continues to terrify those who are brave or foolish enough to cross it after dark. Emily's Bridge in Stowe, Vermont. Now picture this, you're crossing a quiet covered wooden bridge in the middle of Vermont. The moonlight barely kind of filters through the trees, the wood creaks under your steps, and just when you think you're alone, you hear a sob. Not just any sob, but the sound of a girl crying in heartbreak. That's Emily. Emily's Bridge, officially called Goldbrook Bridge, has one of the most enduring ghost stories in New England. Built in 1844, it looks charming by day, a classic red-covered bridge you'd see on postcards, but at night it's something else entirely. The most well-known legend says Emily was a young woman in the 1800s who planned to elope with her lover. She was supposed to meet him at the bridge and escape her very strict family, but when she arrived, he never showed up. Some say he abandoned her, others claimed her parents intervened. Heartbroken and humiliated, Emily actually unalived herself from the rafters of the bridge. Now, in darker retelling, she may have actually jumped into the river and drowned, but since then, her restless spirit has haunted the bridge. Drivers crossing it report deep scratches suddenly appearing on their cars as if clawed by an invisible hand. Some claim to hear the echo of footsteps running across the wooden planks even when no one else is around. Paranormal investigators have caught chilling EVPs of a woman's voice crying out or whispering in despair. Now, visitors on foot often feel Emily's presence in a very physical way. People describe being touched, scratched, even shoved. One local swore he saw a faint glowing figure at the center of the bridge, only for it to disappear when his flashlight hit it. Another group of teens claimed they heard a loud female scream echo across the valley at midnight, though no one else was around. Now, the town of Stowe doesn't shy away from the ghost stories. Emily's Bridge has become a paranormal tourist attraction, drawing ghost hunters from literally across the country. What makes it compelling is that the stories are so consistent. Different people, from skeptics to believers, all reporting very similar eerie encounters, and perhaps most disturbing, many locals refuse to cross the bridge after dark. They'll happily take the long way around instead of tempting Emily's wrath. Goatmans Bridge in Denton, Texas. Some haunted bridges are eerie, some are tragic, and then there's the Goatmans Bridge in Denton, Texas, a place with a legend so terrifying it was built actually in 1884, and for decades it served as a simple passage between Denton and Copper Canyon. But in the 1930s, a horrifying story changed its reputation forever. Now, according to local legend, a black goat farmer named Oscar Washburn lived near the bridge. He was respected in the community, known for his honesty and success, but in the Jim Crow era, that success came, of course, at a price. You know, white supremacists, specifically the Triple K people, you know who I'm talking about, targeted him. One night, they dragged him to the bridge and actually kind of basically just threw him up from his trusses, and when they returned to retrieve his body, it was gone. Now, the K members panicked and burned his house down. down, unaliving his whole family inside. From that day forward, the bridge was cursed. People began reported sightings of a half-man, half-goat figure haunting the bridge, glowing red eyes in the woods, heavy hooves on the bridge at night, and kind of just growls coming from the darkness. Now, drivers said their headlights would suddenly go out while crossing, followed by banging on the car roof as if something was trying to claw its way in. Paranormal investigators have documented extreme phenomena here. Now, some visitors report feeling overcome with violent anger, or even temporary possession as though something was inside them. Others have seen shadow figures darting across the bridge or smelled sulfur, a classic sign of something demonic. Now, perhaps the most infamous dare is to go to the bridge at night and shout "Goatman" 3 times. People who heard it or tried it say they've seen a horned figure appear at the other end of the bridge waiting for them. Some even swear they were chased away by unseen footsteps pounding after them. This combination of a brutal real-life hate crime and decades of terrifying supernatural reports makes Goatmans Bridge one of the most feared haunted sites in America. It's not just a ghost story, it's a place tied to human cruelty, tragedy, and something darker lurking in the shadows. Clinton Road Bridge in New Jersey. Now, in the forests of New Jersey lies a stretch of road so terrifying that even hardened paranormal investigators approach it with caution. And at the heart of it is the Ghost Boy Bridge, a site where legend says the deceased don't rest quietly. Now, Clinton Road, located in West Milford, has been called the most haunted road in America, but the bridge over Dead Man's Curve is where most of the supernatural activity focuses. The story goes that a young boy passed away there, either drowned in the river or struck by a car while chasing after a dropped coin. Now, today visitors claim that if you throw a coin into the water, the boy's ghost will throw it back to you. But it doesn't stop there. People who stand on the bridge often feel a very icy hand brush against their skin. Some say they've been pushed, as if the boy's ghost is trying to save them from, sharing his fate maybe. Others claim to see a childlike figure standing kind of at the water's edge, only to then vanish the moment the headlights hit it. And then there's the larger legend of Clinton Road itself. Drivers report phantom headlights tailgating them only to disappear without a trace. Strange animal hybrids, described as part wolf, part human, have been spotted darting in the woods, and the area has a dark history. It's been connected to cult rituals, abandoned structures, and even, mobs being there now, with bodies allegedly dumped in the nearby woods. One of the most chilling stories comes from a group of teenagers who parked on the bridge to test the coin legend. They laughed, tossed the coins, and waited. Moments later, they found the same coins sitting on their car hood. The laughter ended, of course, when they noticed small wet footprints leading across the bridge, stopping directly beside their car. With its mix of ghostly legends, real criminal history, and bizarre sightings, Clinton Road and its haunted bridge embody the perfect storm of paranormal terror. Crybaby Bridge in Salem, Ohio. Now, there's nothing more chilling than hearing the cry of a baby in the middle of the night, right? Especially when no baby is there. Well, that's the legend of Crybaby Bridge on Egypt Road in Salem, Ohio. Now, the story goes back decades. According to local legend, a mother brought her infant to the bridge one night and, for reasons unknown, threw the child into the water below. Some say she was driven insane, others whisper it was part of some weird ritual. Now, whatever the cause, the baby of course drowned, and ever since the sound of its cries has haunted the area. Visitors report hearing the unmistakable wail of an infant coming from the river. Sometimes the crying grows louder the closer you get, only to stop suddenly, leaving behind a very oppressive silence. Couples who park nearby have claimed to hear faint sobbing all around their car. Others say they've seen glowing orbs, hovering above the bridge, or even the figure of a woman in white searching desperately in the darkness. But the bridge's disturbing reputation doesn't end with ghost stories. Paranormal groups investigating the site have reported equipment malfunctions, drained batteries, unexplained scratches on their skin. One local said he felt a sharp tug on his shirt as though a child was trying to grab his attention. Another swore he saw tiny handprints appear on the windows of his car. The legends may, have made, Crybaby Bridge one of Ohio's most infamous paranormal sites, drawing both thrill seekers and investigators, but locals warn that the place carries a darkness far deeper than just a scary story. Some even claim that those, who mock the cries or shout into the darkness are then cursed with very bad luck for weeks afterward. Which bridge would you dare to cross? Me? None, but you do you. I'm your host, Ashley. Until next time, stay spooky. These terrifying creature sightings that were caught on camera remain unexplained to this very day. Scared yet? You should be. Turn the lights on. We're about to get into it. The Fresno Night Crawler. It's 2 a.m. in Fresno, California. A man wakes up to his dog barking uncontrollably. Now, at first he thinks it's just a raccoon, maybe a stray cat, but when he checks the security footage, he sees something that has haunted him literally for the rest of his life. Slowly crossing his front yard are 2 impossibly thin, pale, human-like legs, no torso, no arms, no face, just a pair of ghostly limbs kind of gliding silently silently through the darkness. Now, this was the first ever recorded sighting of what would become known as the Fresno Nightcrawler. Now, the witness, identified only as Jose, was too terrified to even leave his house. He brought the tape to Univision and later to paranormal investigators. Now, desperate for answers, the creature's movement was eerily smooth, almost like it was floating, but its knees bent in a way that made it look unsettlingly kind of organic, like it was alive. Since that first sighting, the Fresno Nightcrawler has been caught on camera only a handful of times, including a very famous video from Yosemite National Park back in 2011. Now, in that footage, two of the creatures can actually be seen strolling casually along a trail, their kind of spindly legs and strange walk making them look like something from a nightmare. Honestly, skeptics have claimed it could be puppetry, a prank, or even a costume, but no one has ever produced, definitive proof or recreated the footage in a very convincing way. Native American legends from the Fresno area describe similar beings, small leg-like spirits said to be kind of guardians of the land. Could these beings be something ancient, or are they something else entirely? Maybe something we're not meant to understand.